Hello, good afternoon, and welcome to another conversation with Dr. Pui San. Today we're starting our recovery series with the first topic, the restful sleep. So just in case you missed the previous live show on meditation, the art of mental fortitude, you can still catch it on the Try Yoga YouTube, the Facebook group page, and now available on Spotify and Apple Podcasts.
Yay!
All right, so even this one, it will be uploaded on these few channels. So feel free to catch the replays. But thank you if you're joining us live. Please ask questions. So, I'm sure every one of you, including myself, I grapple with getting good quality and restful sleep. It's nice when you wake up feeling all rested, waking up from a completely restful sleep. So for this series, we have Dr. Pui San, the Doctor of Sports and Exercise Medicine, to just share a bit about what the role of sleep plays in our recovery. Okay, so let me pull her in. There you go. Let me add her into. Hi. So that's Dr. Pui San. Yep. So just to get the ball rolling, okay. What's a restful sleep? What's the definition of a restful sleep?
I think in a nutshell, it would be going to bed, waking up, and feeling that you have the energy and the motivation to go on with your day. Because a lot of people wake up and they feel like, I think I need to go back to sleep. Right? So yeah, that is a restful sleep. So I do understand most people don't get that, and whether or not we're under MCO or not, some people just don't get that, and there are some reasons around it. We will try to explore and see how much we can do about it. But before we start, I think let's share why this topic came up. Like I was telling Sue earlier why I want to do this topic, because long time ago I have posted on my Instagram before that exercising too near bedtime can actually cause you to not sleep very, very well, right? Mm-hmm. So someone messaged me, DM me on Instagram asking me if is there anything else he can do about it, because exercise was the only thing he can use to wind down from a very difficult day at work. So what the conversation I had with this fellow was, if that was just one point that I made in that particular Instagram post, there are many things surrounding exercise and surrounding sleep itself that you need to tackle before you say, okay, that is the reason why I can't sleep. So let's look into this, because I think that if this fellow was to ask me, I'm sure many people also have the same idea that exercise is not cause my sleep very well, but we're going to train for Ironman, train for marathon, so I need to exercise. So yeah, that's that.
Okay.
Start with that.
Okay. So
yeah. Okay. All right. So before we start, let's do a disclaimer. I think it's important. So this is targeted to people without pre-existing medical issues that is a common side effect or a common symptom, which also includes all your mood disorders, affective mood disorders like your depression, your bipolar disorders, your manic disorders, and other general anxiety disorders, your sleep disorders, epilepsy, other diseases such as your obstructive sleep apnea, even cardiorespiratory disorders like some people with asthma, with pulmonary diseases that actually can cause difficulty breathing when they're lying down. So we don't look into this part. We look at people, the general population, the so-called healthy population that exercises. It's easier that way also.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't work
Okay, that's better.
So we run through for right now what we're going to look at. We're going to look at why sleep is important, a little reminder, we're going to look at the sleep cycle, because understanding it might actually help you understand why you feel the way you do. When you should really get into sleeping, and how long do you really need to sleep. That is usually discussion a lot of people want to have with me. Sleep hygiene, and what exactly is sleep hygiene, and what aspects are there. Sleep aids, will it really help? Do I need it? Yeah. And the issues with nap.
Naps.
Yeah. Okay. A lot of people will tell me, I will sleep when I am dead. Actually, no lah. You will just be dead. Like, you won't be able to sleep at all. So you want to sleep because you do not want to die anytime soon. Okay. So your body has an internal clock. We call it the circadian rhythm, which means that at every point of the in time of the day, right, your body does certain things very, very well. It releases hormones at certain times of the day that affects your digestion, which also affects your appetite. It affects your immune system, your strength, your blood pressure, and most of all, it affects your sleep, right? So when you train, you do your exercises, the harder your exercise is, the more your body will break down. You do not get stronger when you train. You actually get stronger when you rest after your training. That is when your body recovers, recuperates, and rebuilds itself. But if you keep training, you don't rest and let your body recuperate and recover, you will find yourself injured, or you find yourself overtrained, right? So rest and recovery is a very important part of training, which a lot of people think is not important. Sleep when I'm dead, right? So the best form of recovery is actually from sleep at night.
Okay. Sleep at night, not how about
Yes.
the naps in the afternoon?
And try not to do that so much, because we will. I'll get to it in a while. So
Okay.
long time ago there was 5 stages, but now they already concise and make it four lah. It's easier to remember. So you have stage 1, stage 2, stage 3, and then you have your stage 4, which is your REM sleep. So stage 1 is the one that you feel like you are sleeping, really sleeping. A bit of sun will wake you up. It's when you first start napping, then waking up, is usually where you're at stage 1, right? And then you progress to stage 2. This is when your physiologically you start to fall asleep. Your body temperature starts to drop, your heart rate starts to slow down, your blood pressure starts to slow down, right? And then this is your stepping stone to get into stage 3. Stage 3 is where the magic happens. Stage 3 is where your body fully relaxes, right? You feel like it's like you are sleeping at stage 3, people come in, they'll be yelling, you just sleep right through it. You're like a deadlock, right? Deeper sleep happens right here. After stage 3, you go into REM sleep. This is where you get your dreams. Your weird dreams happen all here. So, okay. So this is a cycle of sleep.
Okay. Stage
All
4.
right.
Dreams.
This is important to understand, because when we sleep, we actually go through many sleep cycles. So you can see from here, from wakefulness, all right, and you go all the way down to stage 3, stage 4. So your REM and your stage 3, stage all the way to stage 3, it goes up and down and up and down and come back up until you come out from the sleep cycle.
When you wake up.
This is important because when you wake up, let's say you're woken up right here, and you're deep sleep, you're okay, if I woke you up about here or even here, you're going to find that it's as if you never slept, or that you straight away up and can do your work already. Can go on with your day, right? So this is correct. A lot of times people tell me, Doc, I sleep for 9 hours. And now people confuse lying in bed, closing their eyes somewhat, and not moving much and sleeping. Okay, so just because you lie in bed for 8 minutes and you're sleeping like a deadlock, so it takes about 90 minutes. Some people a little bit less, some people a little bit more to cycle through one cycle of sleep, and then you keep repeating it. And you'll find that almost that you go to your or go toilet or whatever is because you have just completed one cycle, right? So let's say a lot of times, especially when you're stressed or when I'm on call or you're sleeping in the hospital, we get this intermittent sleep. Long time ago when I was working in psychiatry, right, we have to be on call in bed more or less for 8 hours. Some days it can happen for 8 hours, but you wake up the next day feeling like crap because I am sleep in between. I sleep a little bit, worried that I missed the phone call, or I'm worried somebody called me, or I'm worried that the patient has some issues. So I never really go into deep sleep. Right? So same thing of what I said. Just because you lay in bed for 8 to 9 hours doesn't mean you have a sleep. Right? So what is enough sleep? This is a very difficult question to answer because different people need different amount of sleep. And different people have different length or duration of entire sleep cycle. So because we say the average sleep cycle is about 90 minutes, right? So it comes up to be about 7.5 hours. Some papers do say that the minimum is 6 hours for good health, good functioning, good recovery. That is the minimum. But whether or not this involves adequate amount in stage 3, nobody knows. Really, nobody knows, right? So the ideal range falls somewhere in between 7.5 to 9. So if you fall somewhere between there, you wake up feeling not too bad, you got it lah.
What if you sleep more than 9 hours?
Okay. There are some papers that suggest that sleeping up to 10 hours actually is detrimental because you actually feel a lot worse. But having said that, like I said before, individual people need different amount of sleep. If you're a pro, you're training 5 to 8 hours every single day. I think 10 hours is okay. I really think 10 hours is not enough. But if you're like you and me, okay, if you're like me, maybe you're pro. If you're like me, you train maybe 1 to 2 hours a day. Some days you have a day off. But 7.5 to 9 is pretty okay for me already now. All right. So I also think that most people fall into my category of being the average exerciser. So average.
Okay.
So this is a lot of people to begin with. So this is where sleep hygiene comes into play. And this is something everyone can control. We think that, just because I can't sleep, I have to take a pill. No, there's a lot of things within your control, in your environment that you can manipulate to make sure you fall asleep, right? So sleep hygiene definition is daily practices or daily habits that promotes good nighttime sleep quality. Okay? And like everything in life, all these practices and habits take time to become an everyday thing. So like your training, it's not like today you've never run before, you're a couch potato, suddenly you can run a marathon. No, it doesn't work that way either. That way, right? You take one step at a time over a long period of time, then you realize, hey, I can run a marathon, right? Same thing with your sleep hygiene. You have to take time to make it perfect. It will not, today I do this, tomorrow, why can I not sleep?
No, Pui San say I can sleep well tonight. I cannot sleep.
3 weeks to become a habit now. Right? So there is no zero to hero one, those kind of things. Right? The Zero to hero. I wish there was zero to hero. Really, when it comes to sleep.
A magic pill, a magic cure.
Yeah, magic pill. No, that's if there was a magic cure and we could package it that has no side effects, and right, we'd be rich. Okay.
Yeah, remind me. I'll ask you about sleeping pills later.
Ah, okay.
Okay.
So, I've divided the components of sleep hygiene into these lah. So you have room environment, you have activity-related factors, you have food factors, and then you have IT-related factors. Which this is the main thing lah. This is a lot of us. Okay. So this one, there's a lot of things you can change. Depending on where you stay, with who you stay, you can change to what degree lah. So the most important is you keep your room clean and uncluttered, because the more cluttered your room is, when you go in, you already have the sense of, oh my god, ew, you know. So how are you going to have a good sleep in that situation? So clean and uncluttered room is important. You look very excited about that.
I agree. Oh, okay, yeah.
How cluttered your sleep, you spend what, 1/3, 2/3, half of your
Okay, day.
your entire life
Uh-huh.
now, right? Don't you want to keep that part of it, like, nice, clean, free from clutter and nonsense? So this is important. Right? So you that by just uncluttering the room or just putting it into the closet you cannot see anymore, right, will sometimes help quite a bit for a lot of people. Right, so that's one. So another thing that you can do is actually make sure the place that you sleep is comfortable. We think because this is our bed, it has to be comfortable. It's not necessary. Sometimes people have not changed their mattress for 20 over years. You may still be the same mattress that you had when you were in like primary school. Just saying.
Yeah.
Right?
So these are the factors.
Yes, it's true. So you make sure your bed is comfortable, your bedding is comfortable, your pillow is proper, because if you're sleeping and you wake up the next morning with a neck stiffness, that is not fun, right? It makes sense, right? Another thing is room temperature. Remember when we get into stage 2 of sleep, right, your body temperature drops, ma. So we want to emulate that. So if your room temperature is on the cooler side, it's always a lot more comfortable for you to sleep. Okay. Now, having said that also, sometimes what you wear to sleep also is important. Sometimes you want to wear all the nice, fancy pajamas that you bought from, I don't know where we all buy from nowadays lah. Okay. So sometimes they are a bit warm for our country, and especially if it's a very warm season right now, right? So it's it makes our body sweat when you're in bed. It makes our temperature goes up, and it's not going to be very good sleep either. You're gonna be uncomfortable. You'll wake up in the middle of the night rolling around. Oh my god, I'm stuck in sweat. Stuff like that.
Oh, wait, sorry. So stage 2, your body temperature drops.
Your temperature drops, right? You want to follow that as well. That is why you'll find that when you sleep in a cooler room, it's easier to sleep. When your aircon breaks down or there's no electricity, I guarantee you will wake up. Right? It's hot. It's hot. We when it's warm, your body thinks it's time to wake up. Right? So you want it to be cooler.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah. So another thing is room environment. Okay, this one is a bit controversial because some people are so used to sleeping with a night lamp that without a night lamp, there is the fear factor of I don't know what people are scared of, but there's a fear factor. But for most people, there's no issues. Okay, a dark environment is very, very, very good. So some people, especially living in condos, in cities, in near towns, a lot of high-rise around them, sometimes outside light can come into your room, and actually that also affects your sleep, right? So you may want to think about stuff like blocking the windows, blackout curtains,
the
stuff like
blackout
that.
curtains.
That really helps. Yeah, right. And sometimes your normal waking hour is say 7, but sometimes the sun rises, and before that you wake up a lot earlier. So that's the same thing, lah. So you want to black it out.
But what about?
But again, this is.
Yeah, but what about sometimes people have TVs in their room?
Sorry?
What if people have TV turned on in their room, then it's bright?
Yeah. That we will talk about in the IT part. Now,
Ah,
yeah. Also, some people, especially when they're living in a very cramped environment, right, they also treat their bed like their study table or their computer table, which means they drag the laptop into bed, put on their lap or their pillow, and they do their work. Okay, so that also confuses the mind that, hey, this is where I sleep, this is but I'm working, this is where I get stimulated, and then my brain is going into overdrive, and I'm thinking a lot of stuff, my boss, deadline, this and that. So it's not very helpful, right? So you want to keep your bed just for sleeping and not for work or anything else. Unless you're going to read a easy, happy story book or whatever, that's fine. But to do work and studying, not really. Okay, so you may want to just make the bed just for sleeping. Okay,
yeah.
this is sorry.
Yeah, I also wanted to add lah because I think even the types of things that you read matters.
Of course, of course.
Yeah, but I think I went to this discussion the other day, conversation lah, about what you read in bed. So I said I never read things that are technical, that are how-tos, but right. But
Okay.
I think novels
I
and
think that
love
is
stories. work.
a personal thing, because I think we had this conversation as well.
Is it with you?
No, because it's like this. I think I told you that I do not read fiction in bed, because if I read fiction before sleeping, I will never be able to sleep, and I will never be able to put the book down. For me, fiction is something daytime. I finish reading, take some time off, then I go to bed. However, for me, non-fiction is a perfect thing to read before bed, because it really numbs.
Kita terbalik. I'm the other way around. Okay, personal preference then.
It really numbs down my hyperactive mind. So
Uh-huh.
for me, it's very focused, right? But as for fiction books, I'm like, my mind is wondering, who is the killer? Who is this person? Who is that person? As opposed to like how to do this. My mind's like narrow, and I'm like, okay, this is how I do it. Okay, go to bed now.
Okay. Fine. Different people, okay? Different.
Yeah, so you may want to find one that works for you,
Yeah.
right? Okay, this is another thing that is white noise. I'm not sure how many people use white noise in this country, but it's actually very, very useful. I learned about white noise is from my cousins who use this to put my nieces to sleep. So it actually, how some people sleep very well in buses, in cars, and in airplanes.
Uh-huh.
Okay? I'm one of those people that once I get into a moving vehicle, there's a background sound that goes like, the motor sound and the driving sound. It just lulls you into sleep, right? But noise works the same way. So all this thing can be downloadable onto your phone, and you just plug it into like an external speaker, and it works fantastic. So white noise can be anything like the wind blowing.
Uh-huh,
People love
yeah.
that. The waves crashing into the
I use
beach,
that too,
right?
so I have the rain sounds.
Or waterfall, right? Or a river. Or
And they're
sometimes,
all very nature-based.
or
All
even
things in
just a
nature.
background sound, or even the motor sound, motor humming sound. People love that. And like my one of my nieces, they do it's just going like shh. That's it. So until now, when someone says that, I'm like, oh, I feel so sleepy. Condition you to some degree. Also, it's like your Pavlov dog, right? You ring the bell, the dog starts salivating because it thinks that's food. So every time you hear the sound, right, and you do it the same sound over and over again, your mind conditions it with, I hear the waterfall
conditioning.
sound, therefore it's time for bed and I will sleep.
Yeah, so again, we're going back to the forming of habits.
Yes. So it will feel damn weird early on. But
Oh my
after
god,
a
it's
while,
like
you realize that-
hypnosis. Next time I want you to sleep, I just put on rain sound. Or put me to sleep because that works. Just put the sound of the rain, I'll fall asleep.
Yeah. So it becomes a trigger for you to fall asleep, right? So this is what I mean by white noise.
Okay.
So now we talk about the food factors, which is what a lot of people who exercise
Alamak.
late in the day do. So it's always an issue of the terrible twos lah, which is you eat too much, you eat too little, you eat too spicy, you eat too oily, you eat too heavy, or you drink too much alcohol or caffeine. Okay, now when you eat too much, there is the chance of you getting indigestion or reflux because your stomach is so full, right? Your stomach is separated from your intestine, your esophagus by a small little sphincter. So when you lie down, the gravity factor of it goes away. So if it relaxes slightly, your stomach content is going to go up. So it
Oh,
shoots up, it burns that area because it's not used to the acid from your stomach. You're going to wake up because it's painful, right? Or you start burping, right? It's not comfortable. Or you eat too little. So a lot of people work out towards the end of the day. For them, it's like, yeah, I want to lose some weight and I'm going to eat a little bit only, maybe just like a bit of one slice of bread, I go to sleep already. But the thing is, you just burn X amount of calories, right? Your metabolism is humming, but you don't feel enough for your body's needs. So what you do is your body will tell you, "Hey, I'm hungry." So
yeah.
what you're gonna do is it's gonna go like throughout the whole entire night. You're not gonna sleep well either, right? All people say, "Oh, I want to eat something spicy tonight." You know what? That is going to hurt you towards the end of the night, especially if it's too late. And again, the whole reflux, the whole heartburn thing is going to come. Same with too heavy. Okay, now, eat too much heavy, it sounds like it's the same, but it's not. Imagine you eat a lot of food and your stomach feels very distended, but all of that food is actually vegetables and fruits. You feel your stomach distended, but you feel heavy, right? Because you eat a lot of meat or oil, right? That you feel very burdensome inside. Okay, and actually too heavy, too much meat also can cause a little bit of like heartburn, indigestion thing towards the end of the night. So that will also affect your sleep.
Okay.
Alcohol.
Much to it.
A lot of people say drink alcohol, you fall asleep. Agreed. Okay, you fall asleep faster, but you do not get into the whole entire cycle that we mentioned about. So you find that you wake up the next morning feeling like crap, and a lot of times you say, "Oh, it's because I drank a lot of alcohol, I'm dehydrated." Right? That is only half true for me. Sometimes because you don't go through the whole cycle. So and caffeine. So okay, some people can drink espresso before sleep and sleep very well.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
People like that usually have been doing this for many, many, many years, and their tolerance towards caffeine is very, very high. But most of us are that type of people. So we drink a bit of caffeine tea, you're going to sleep at night. So it's very hard for me to tell you what the last for. Very hard.
Mm-hmm.
Betul last for because sometimes for my drink coffee at 5 before my workout, and I still can go to bed at night.
Mm-hmm.
But some people can't. So it's really
There's sensitivity to caffeine.
it's a lot of trial and error on your own part. So after a while you realize that okay, huh?
Yeah, they're sensitive to
Yeah.
caffeine.
So after a while you realize that you have a last call. Yeah, last call to yes. So that's good lah. Okay. Now personal activity related exercise here. Okay. Exercise, if you talk about low to moderate intensity, I agree. It's stress relieving. It puts you at ease to some degree. Like what we mentioned last time, it's meditative as well, especially if you're doing a lot of same activity, same motion activities like running, or cycling. But if you work out too intense, um, you, let's say you're talking about a track workout, we're talking about 400, 10 and 400 meters. You're going to be, your sympathetic stimulation is going to be there, and you're going to be awake. Your fight and flight is all in, right? Also, it increases your body temperature, and because of that, you're going to sweat quite a bit even after your workout when you mandi already, stuff like that. So this also does affect how you sleep. But if you're talking about exercising low intensity, zone 2, like zone 2 45-minute run, zone 2 1 hour run, to a lot of people that it doesn't really do much in terms of affecting your sleep. So it's really how intense you exercise, right? And then you can talk about meditation. It actually Sue wants to put in her on Sue. So
Yeah,
I
yeah,
said
yeah.
as per our discussion, I do this app so I go to sleep and then do it. Okay. So why still it's very hard for me to say. But it's something of like a low hanging fruit, which means there's no harm trying if you have no issues to whatever warm thing to drink. So it can be warm soy milk to warm milk or put a bit of honey in it sort of thing. Help some people, no harm trying. One thing that also works is warm bath and warm shower because this one does lower your body temperature, right? I know it sounds a bit like oxymoron because yeah, you want to be feel cooler. Shouldn't you take a cold bath? Actually, not really, because when you take a warm bath, the blood vessels nearer to the skin actually vasodilate and you release a lot of heat. Okay, so when you release a lot of heat, generally your body temperature drops, and then you'll find that going into bed also after that is like a
Yeah,
lot
yeah, yeah.
cooler. So
Yes, it's
yeah,
true, it's true.
right?
Yeah.
So yeah, but also don't do that because I guess warm baths are uncomfortable. I don't know. I quite like doing this though. Okay. One another thing is queryable is aromatherapy diffuser. I
Mm.
think we don't ask that day. It's one requirement. But again, it's one of those low hanging fruits. It's easy to do. There's a minimal effort on your part. No harm trying. Some people love it. And it makes your room smell very good also. Okay, the last one. The last one, a lot of us are guilty of this, which is your IT related sleeping habits. We before we go to bed, we always call our phones. Whether we have last minute messages from our colleagues, our friends, our group 101 group chat, I'm sure you're on it. Scroll a bit on Instagram, all your social media outlets because you did a workout, you posted, you see how many likes you have. Okay, all that is not recommended because
IT related?
number one, you're doing that as well. Right? So
Huh?
number
Yeah.
one,
I'm constantly connected.
yeah. Some people it's very hard for them to turn to disconnect, but we have to try because especially if it's affecting your sleep. So one thing is our phones emit blue light that actually stimulate um, uh, your sleep. It actually affects your sleeping cycle. So it thinks that it is daytime outside, and therefore you should be awake. So when you turn it off, you go to bed. It's very hard to fall asleep. So nowadays there are a lot of phones and gadgets, especially your computers, your iPads. There is a yellow light function. If you really, really need to check your phone, or you really, really need to be on your computer or iPad, I would suggest turn on the yellow light. A lot of our
Yeah, yeah,
computers,
the night mode.
yeah, the night mode, right? Our computers can download the app
Yeah.
as well. Also, another thing is when you are going through all your social medias, your group chat and everything, you are stimulated. You are thinking, you're talking about some gossip on your group chat. You're like, wow, right? So you're never going to calm down to go to bed. You want to calm down, which is why the meditation part is calming down,
Mhm.
right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
So with work, it is important to disconnect or at least try to disconnect. I know there are some bosses out there who has no respect for personal time. Maybe you are one of them. I don't know, but if you don't disconnect, you're going to bring your work problems to bed. And what you're going to do is you're going to ruminate over these issues over and over and over your head. Next thing you know, it's like, oh my God, it's 3 in the morning. I'm waking up in 3 hours' time. So a lot of people overthink when they lie in bed. So one way I find that is very helpful is to do what I call a brain dump. You know, bullet journaling,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Not really. I know journaling.
No, so journaling was the old school. I realized that. Journaling was the old
Oh,
school. The
it's more fancy. Yeah.
millennial came out and said we're going to do bullet journaling, shorten the time, right? But when I look into bullet journaling, I find a lot of like fancy stuff, which I think is also very crap. So I even downgrade somewhat to what I call brain dumping. It's very simple. Before you go to bed and when you're relaxing at time already, right? All you do is you pull out a paper and write down every single thing you're going to do and all the issues related for the next day. So, for example, what I have right here is I did this last night regarding today. So, I wrote there to do for today, which is 16th of May, and I wrote there. First point is Sue's talk or try yoga, and I'm going to break it down to what I need to do to prepare, which means I actually wrote down here, write down, break down points, which I did last night. Prep the slides, which I did this morning. Make sure computer is charged. Make sure Skype is functioning. Look for earphones. This one. Look for backup earphones over there. Get online 30 minutes in advance. So, which means that I wrote down everything that I will ruminate the night before.
Okay.
Once I put it on paper, I close my notebook, I put one side and I go like, okay, done. I'm not going to think about it anymore. So that is what I mean by brain dumping. So if you want to be old school, you can go into journaling, but then journaling will go into a lot of writing and then a lot of like emotional outpouring. So it depends on what you like.
I know, actually, yeah. Journaling will be another matter lah. Someone's wondering whether all these things, because I think pre-race jitters,
Right.
would it work for pre-race jitters too?
In a way. So let's say, you know how we do a pre-race checklist?
Yes,
Like what
yeah.
to bring, what to
Packing
do, okay? So it can work also. So what you do is before, this one maybe a bit earlier lah, like in the afternoon or evening before the race, you're going to write down what I'm going to do tomorrow and you're going to put time frame to it. So this time I'm going to wake up, this time I'm going to go to toilet, this time I'm going to eat, this time I'm going to pack this. Okay, the night before I'm going to pack all of this. So you're going to write down every single thing that you are going to like, oh my god, into a piece of paper.
The things that will keep you up at night.
Yeah. So once it's there already, right? For you, it's like it's on paper. I don't think about it anymore. Put one side.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay. So that does help. But usually it works for like work everyday thing lah. This is what I usually do every day lah. So I actually break down every single thing so I don't forget. It's not very OCD, right?
No, I do. It's like a to-do list, your task list. But I get what you mean. The brain dumping, you're clearing off your mind.
Yes.
Yeah,
On
getting ready for.
paper, so it's legible the next day. But you see, a lot of times we say we want to make to-do lists. We only write like let's say, do grocery 1 point. Second point, clean house.
Yeah.
But to really brain dump is like do grocery. Sub point 1.1 is going to be grocery where. Sub point number 2 is
Grocery
what am I
what?
going to buy one whole. So you are breaking it down because those are the things that you're going to ponder about later down. So you're going to write everything down first. It's really helpful.
Yes, yes.
Another thing I think related, especially for NCO type, is TV, movies, K-drama. Too much mental stimulation before bed. And okay, I have to admit there's some K-drama. I think I know it could be 2 a.m. already. Yeah. This is where I would say discipline comes in because Harun told me I need to watch K-drama. I usually don't watch because I know I'm a sucker for shit. I don't watch. I know actor kena. Because I want to find out who this actor is. So all this is just in, okay? You may want to do it a lot earlier. Give yourself an hour to prepare and go through the rituals, just like your training. Before you go for training, you pack your stuff, you change your gear, get your gear, you go to the place that you're going to train, you do your warm up, then your working set, and then your cool down, your stretching, then you go home, you eat, you refill, then you go to bed, right? So same thing as well. If you want to properly, you want to watch all this stuff, yeah, it's fine, but you make sure that after that, there is a certain time for certain things. So after a certain time, it's like, okay, time for me to start my training to go to bed. Then you start your warm shower lah.
Yeah, your ritual.
Yeah, you read your boring book lah, and then you read this lah. Your thing lah, right? One of my thing was also putting on face mask lah,
Now that's your thing.
It's an SEO thing, skincare, right? So one thing people always ask is there an easy way about it? People want easy. Nothing is easy. It was easy, right? Everybody would do Iron Man right now, but no, nothing is easy. Everything takes time to get to, right? But we will touch about it anyway, because I know people will ask. All right, so popping pills to sleep,
Mm.
sorry. I broke it down. Sometimes it's interchangeable, but I broke it down. Just easier to discuss is sleep supplements, sleep aids, and sleep medication. So what are the difference? So like the word itself, supplementation is just a supplementation. It's exactly like your vitamins and your minerals. You do not take vitamin C to cure something unless it's scurvy, right?
Mm-hmm.
But you take it because you want to help. You hope that it will help you do something lah. Whatever the something is, I don't know, but something lah. Like
Oh,
prevent
like
yourself
calming
from
of the mind or what?
something like, yeah, something like that. But a lot of times I do think it's a placebo effect, but
Uh-huh.
that's the point. So we don't know 100% whether it works or not, all the supplementations, right? You get some research that say, oh, this one works. Then you get another equal amount of research that says it doesn't work at all,
Uh-huh.
right? So it's very yes, no,
Well, it's
whatever.
yeah.
All right.
You just have to
So
try it, right?
yeah. So sleep supplements in a nutshell is what I would say. With or without it, right? Eventually, you should be able to go to sleep. It's a matter of when only. Okay. So the more famous ones, popular ones that are sleep related is actually magnesium supplementation. Okay. There's something like the reishi mushroom drinks or chamomile tea. Supplementation is just considered as that. It may work, it may not work. No harm trying. It will not cause much damage to you lah, because
Yeah, because
how,
even
how much
these
chamomile tea
things,
do you
they
drink,
look
right?
quite natural, so they're not chemicals. Like the
Yeah,
teas,
right.
I think teas work. Teas work for me lah. The chamomile tea.
But again, we don't really know whether it is the warm drink. Remember, I
Oh
talked
yeah,
about the
you're
warm
right.
drink supplement itself. I don't know. I think sometimes drinking green tea also will help, even though green tea has caffeine.
Caffeine.
But the idea is warm, it is nice, it feels like a nice warm hug, alright?
Mm.
Feels good. So a supplement. Then we go to sleep aids. A lot of people ask is melatonin whether it works to help with sleep issues or not. It does for a short time, right? So melatonin is something I recommend if you are traveling in between time zones, which I think this year nobody will lah, because COVID everywhere, right? But if you travel between time zones, you will find that it's very hard for you to fall asleep when everyone else is asleep but you, because your internal clock says it's still 12 p.m. It's time to go for lunch. So you take this just to regulate back your sleep wake cycle, and then after a few days, you don't really need it once you're sleeping at your normal time and waking at your normal time anymore, right?
What's
Okay,
melatonin anyway? Is it a pill?
it's a pill. Technically, our body has melatonin
Yeah.
as well. When we no longer see the sunlight, when the dark room, your body produces melatonin.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Yeah.
So that lulls you into sleep. And what I talk about your circadian rhythm, at every certain point in time of the day, your body releases certain hormones and chemicals that aids your day. Okay, melatonin is one of these chemicals that the body releases. So when it's dark, the body thinks, okay, it's time to sleep. This chemical release,
Oh, okay.
right? Which is why when you want to let your sleep, before you go to bed, you just pop one like half an hour before, and then it tries to get your body to like, hey, look, we now you have this
Nighttime.
chemical in the body already.
Mm-hmm.
It is time to sleep, yay, right?
Yep.
But after a while, it doesn't work anymore because the body is not stupid. The body is actually quite smart. You cannot trick it by an external thing unless your body is devoid of the chemical. So if you take this after a while, your body don't produce that much. So to get you to like equilibrium a little bit. So that is why I would say it's a short term thing. No problem. Short, no problem. Right?
Mm.
Or people who shift work, let's say you're working night shift for a couple of days, or you're working a night shift for a couple of weeks, and then suddenly you turn back to your normal shift or afternoon shift. Okay, so let's say you turn back to your normal shift and you need to sleep. This works,
Ah.
right? Actually, I personally like night shift, very, very fun. Another thing that people usually take to sleep aid is actually sedative antihistamine. Um, a lot of it people take is Piriton, but it does work. I do on off
So you just knock
abuse
yourself out.
maybe because sometimes I also don't know whether it's because my sinusitis is affecting me, and it's irritating on my throat. But this does help, and it does sedate you slightly, and then it's easier for you to go to sleep.
Okay,
But
so
it's
all
not
these sleep aids, all these you can get over the counter.
melatonin in this country. You're better off getting from iHerb, iHerb.com.
Oh, okay, all right.
Yeah.
Buy online.
Yeah. I don't think it's being sold as of yet lah. I mean, there is an antidepressant that works on melatonin, but I will recommend that right now
I'm
unless
sure
you're
those got
depressed.
come with you need a prescription for those.
No. I always technically you can buy over the counter over online lah.
Okay.
Over.
Online.
But antihistamine you can get over the counter. That's fine. Or over the pharmacist lah. Right. So yeah. Right.
Right.
Now, sleep medication. A lot of time when people say I pop sleeping pills, this is what they mean, right? They take a benzodiazepines. So these are proper sedatives. This is harder to get. This one usually needs a prescription. But according to a lot of my patients back when I was in psychiatry and even now, they tell me that there are ways to get it. It's a bit illegal, but there are ways to get it. And it makes you feel so, oh my God. But that, yeah. So
Okay, that's one.
the issue, so the issue with these are they are addictive if taken long term.
Yeah.
Therefore, they're not recommended.
Dependency.
Huh?
You get dependent on them to fall
Yes, you
asleep.
get a lot of dependence. So that day I was talking to a patient who came to me for some other issues, and we just talked about this, and then she brought up her some illness, some vague illness she had, and then it turned out that she's on benzodiazepine dependence, and then I asked her, have you tried to try to wean it off? She told me that it was so hard because he was 13 years on this
Yeah.
medication.
Uh-huh.
And now, when she wanted to wean off, they actually admitted her into the psychiatric ward. And
God.
for 10 days, she thought she was
Was it because she couldn't sleep?
going to die because
Oh.
the
Dog ah.
but that as well. But to be fair, withdrawal symptoms can be
Move it. Oh no. Okay, hold on. Pause.
Sorry, I hung there a bit.
I know. Okay. Yeah. Let's all right. So now we're on naps.
Yeah, you're
We okay now?
Yeah. It's a bit like buggy just now. It's
Yeah.
fine now.
Like you say, it comes on and off. Now it's okay already.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right. So, all right. I think you asked about this just now, right? Naps.
Yes. Naps.
Okay. It cannot substitute a good night's sleep. You can't. Unless you're telling me that you're working night shift and your daytime sleeping is your sleep itself, then yeah, that's fine. There's no choice. But to substitute a good night's sleep, not really. Okay, but it has a function. You can actually integrate it as part of your relax and recovery, especially after very heavy training, or if the night before you don't have really good sleep. But it's not like a 2 hour sleep sort of thing. Okay. Remember the sleep wake cycle we talked about? Oh no, I mean
The stages of sleep.
your sleep cycle.
The sleep cycle. Yeah.
Yep, the stages of sleep, right? Before you hit 30 minutes, right, you're still in stage 1, 2, 3. When you for that, right, you will feel like you didn't really sleep, but you are going to be able to function. When I say function, I mean that you are alert, you can focus, you can have good attention, and which is why we always tell people if you're driving, you feel tired, just stop by 15 minutes and you're ready to go, right? Because we do not want to micro sleep when you're driving, that will cause accident. So even 15 to 30 minutes is adequate already, okay? Now, if you're nearing about 60 minutes, you're starting, oh, there is a nap ever, because you're going to feel like you are so groggy and all you want to do is continue sleeping. So that's because you already ended into your deep sleep. If you enter into a deep sleep and you are woken up for any reason, you're going to feel like crap.
Mm-hmm. So, that's a tricky thing
And
about nap,
very little,
right? Yeah.
yeah, you're going to very little, or you're going to sleep like 1.5 hours, full cycle,
Yep.
right? 90 minutes full cycle, and then you wake up. Okay, but the problem with sleeping full cycle is it will affect your nighttime sleep. Right? If you're sleeping a bit like afternoon and over, so it will affect your nighttime sleep, and then you're just going to restart the whole cycle of bad sleep, and then you wonder why I can't sleep
Okay.
better. And so you don't want to get there. So keep it 30 minutes and below.
So for those of you who are listening, remember for afternoon naps, keep it 30 minutes and under 30
Yes,
minutes.
under 30 minutes. But if you have a very heavy training, right, and you can nap before lunchtime, you want to go like the whole 90 minutes, fine, always go ahead. Yeah, but always go ahead, it's fine. But and afternoon onwards, after that, it will affect your nighttime sleep. A lot of times it will. So it's like no point. Okay, so yeah, it so no matter how well your sleep hygiene is, your room is spotless, comfortable, you have like the best aromatherapy
Oh,
set, your aircon is set to like 20 degrees forever, warm shower and bath, Epsom salt in the bath. If you sleep in the daytime also, it's not going to help. So right? Okay, so just now Sue asked, what is the one thing that is most important to get from the whole thing about sleep, right? And I told her the one thing. By the way, there's a book I'm reading right now. The one thing, um, the one thing is actually to wake up at the same time every single day. Okay, it's not going to bed at the same time, but wake up at the same time. It will not feel good the first few times you try because you may be sleeping quite late. But after a while, you'll find that because you woke up at the same time, you will go to bed at the same time a lot earlier, and then slowly your cycle will regulate. So
mhm.
that is my
The
my
one
thing,
takeaway lah. Yeah.
the one thing
So that
away.
was the question that I asked.
Yeah.
If there was one thing that you can take away from this entire talk, what would it be? So the
Just
Pui is,
wake up the same
yeah,
time every single
make it
day.
into a habit. Wake up the same
Yeah.
time. Wake up to train. To
Yes.
5 o'clock.
Yep.
Sleep the
Yep.
same time. Wake up the same time. Okay, so we have a
Yep.
question here from
I
Andrew.
I, I think it's very important. Okay,
Yeah.
Andrew. Okay, Andrew. Sure.
Andrew. So it was about the timing of the day lah. So he
Right.
asked, a beautician once told him the beauty hour to sleep is from 10 at night until 6, 10 to 6. Yeah. So 11 to 7 in the morning. Is
The
that true or just
the beauty time is actually, if not mistaken, 11 p.m. to 2 a.m. No,
Ugh,
but meaning, not you sleep and wake up at 2 a.m.
I'm
That
beautiful?
it means that you better be asleep during that time.
Ooh, oh dear.
Right?
Okay.
Because I can't remember what exactly the paper says already, but that is where the most restoration for your body occurs. This 11 to 2 a.m. punya magic hour.
No wonder lah. So many people sleep. All our friends sleep at 10, 11.
I think we're tired.
No
yeah,
lah, and
yeah.
also we
So,
have to wake up early. We have to wake up at 5 to go for our run.
yes, so if one thing to keep in mind also, right? Sleep, you need to treat sleep like how you treat your training now. You put so much effort into your training, the planning, the pre-planning, your post-training punya review, your stretching, your foam rolling, your yoga, your stuff like
Yeah,
that.
yeah, yeah.
So much effort into planning your training. you should take the same effort into planning your sleep. It's the same thing. You need to have the same intensity and focus into your rest and restoration as you put into your training, because the 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 development of your training will occur during your rest. It's not during training though. After training, you're always weaker than before you start training.
Mhm.
You are always stronger a few days after.
Yeah. When your body is this when the muscle repairs itself?
Yep,
That's
yep,
at
exactly. So you have a hard set, alright? Your long runs or your heel repeats,
yeah.
your muscle will break down. So therefore, after that, you are sore. When your muscle break down, it needs to re-heal. It needs to rebuild itself and become more resilient. So if you do not give it time to rebuild itself and become more resilient, that is where you get issues like overuse injuries, tears and
Oh,
sprains and stuff like that. So you want to treat your sleep like how you treat your
correct.
training.
Yeah.
The intensity you put into your training, the intensity you put into your sleep, same thing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Treat sleep sacred lah, right? The
Yes,
rest.
yes, definitely.
Yeah. So I know. So if everyone put into place everything lah, you say the room environment they got it right.
Right.
They use all they take the proper supplements. They choose lah. They pick and choose whichever supplement they want.
Yeah.
So it should. Oh, and then they make it into a habit.
Yes.
They should improve in quality of sleep, and they
It
will
should improve.
finally
Yes.
know how it feels like to be completely in a rested state.
Yes.
And
But okay. As we get older, I hate doing but as we get
what
older,
happens when we
most of
get
us
old?
are, but as we get older, right, you will realize that you are unable to sleep as long as you could when you were younger. Right? I know that when you were in high school, when you're having your school break, you can sleep like 10, 12 hours on.
Yeah.
Not many of adults, or especially people like our age, can do that. A lot of us would be like stretching it at 8 hours, at 9 hours, right? So a lot of times also you have to ask yourself, even though you feel that you're not sleeping enough, when you wake up, do you feel rested? Do you feel that you can still tackle your training with the same intensity as you did 2 years back? Because this whole sleep 8 hours thing is very ingrained into us for very young. We think that we need to do this. We think that without it, we are not performing well or not doing the right thing by ourselves. But you have to accept also, as we get along in age, right, our physiology changes, and therefore we don't actually sleep that long anymore, regardless how tired we are. But how do we feel when we wake up? Do we feel alright? Do we feel good? Right?
Yeah.
So yeah.
It's just the needs of the body lah. So I also
Yeah.
have this one question from Karen Chen. I can't broadcast it up. I don't know why. So she says that she has always slept before sleep. Is it better to read from a book, a real book, or an iPad or a Kindle tech?
Okay. The problem with iPad is, like we said before, is actually the blue light. But nowadays, all Apple products have this yellow light thing already. Okay, so it lessens that blue light thing up. But if using technology to read, I would say Kindle over iPad, real book over Kindle. That is my personal preference, right? But I honestly I use Kindle because it's just easier to not have so many books lying around. I'm trying to declutter as well. So yeah, but I think a real book is always a bit better
Yeah, I prefer a real book
compared
too.
to technology, right?
Because when you fall asleep, right, it's very painful when the iPad hits your face. Because it happened to me before. It was like, "Pdoop."
Okay, I never experienced that before because I always put it down off the light, then I couldn't get it.
No,
Okay,
not
all right,
me.
yeah, that happens to some people.
Okay, let's see what other questions. So Ahmad Nordin said, "No wonder he's ugly."
What?
I bet he sleeps like after 2 a.m. I don't know. takkan he sleep and he wakes up at 11 p.m. right? So he must be sleeping very late. Okay lah. So the last one, describe.
Yeah.
So I want you to describe what if the perfect scenario lah. Okay, you've done all those things. How does it really feel to wake up from a deep, tranquil, and rejuvenating sleep? In case I don't know how it feels like. Sorry. Yeah. What do you how can you picture that? How would it look like? I wake up from my bed. How do I feel?
Do you ever wake up from sleep and feel energized and ready to get on with
No,
your day?
I
You
want to
are
sleep
just
more.
enthusiastic. Oh, okay. All right. So there are some days, right, when I know I have a good sleep. Um, personally, when I wake up and I don't remember my dreams, right? That is when I know I complete the cycle and I woke up. Because if I remember my dreams, meaning I'm still at REM, and then I woke up and like, oh damn it, I want to know what happened at the end of the dream. Okay, that's shit. But for me, if I wake up, I don't remember what I dreamt about, right? That is a good sign. Secondly, is I feel very energized. I feel I can't wait to start my day, and you feel very enthusiastic, and things just move very smoothly. It's like with or without coffee, I'm good to go. Okay, that is the best sleep.
Okay. So I need to put into practice everything then. Oh, yeah. So, are there any more questions? Any more
Yes,
questions?
it's very dark
there?
outside. I need all the lights.
I know you're getting darker and darker.
It is so
You're
dark
still,
outside. Look,
yeah. It's the day signaling that it's time to prepare for rest. Oh, that's a good one. This is a good one. Let me add that to the broadcast. So Tony added lah. So he says, if you can wake up without a use of an alarm, if you can just wake up automatically, it means your body is done sleeping. You know, it has ample rest.
not necessarily. Not necessarily. Not necessarily. And this is what I mean by habitual waking and get older. Older. Okay. A lot of we, to some degree, like how we train our body to go to sleep, right? We can actually train our body to wake up at the same time every single day, right? Your body gets used to it. It's like training, like how you run. Initially, you can't run that long. After a while, it's like running 20 km. That's no problem, right? So same thing. So you can actually train your body to go to bed at a certain time and sleep properly with the sleep hygiene practices, and you can also train your body to wake up at a certain time every single day with or without an alarm. So just because you are able to wake up at a certain time before the alarm rings doesn't mean that you are well rested, because there are many days that I know I did not sleep very, very well at all,
But you wake
I
up.
still wake up at a certain time just before my alarm rings, because my body is so conditioned to doing that. It's like if you don't brush your teeth in the morning, or you don't do your exercise at a certain time of the day, you feel like something is not right. Same thing.
Okay. All right. So
So
that's.
it's not a necessary thing. I need to go on the lights.
I also have another question from Ika. Atika.
Wait, I'm going to on the lights. Okay, hang on.
Okay. All right. Hello, na Ika. Keep the questions coming. I also have my list of questions. I'm waiting for my turn. Yeah, so her question. Yeah, so her question is, okay, how to get over sleep deprivation? Let me
As in how? What do you mean?
remove it. I guess without much elaboration lah. So she's sleep deprived.
You may need to elaborate
Well,
a bit more,
I
because it's like this. What do you mean by sleep deprivation? Are we talking about acute sleep deprivation or chronic sleep deprivation? Because both things are different. And what is causing a sleep deprivation? Is it because you just need your night before you need to rush a certain project, or need to rush a certain work, or is it because you are stressed, or is it because there are some things in your mind that you can't seem to let go? So you might want to address all that first because nothing is black and white. Everything is a bit nuanced, and you want to look into context.
Yeah. There's so many
What-
factors to this.
Yeah.
Yeah. So Ika, so for the benefit of everyone else watching, Doc's slides, all the points that she presented earlier, it will be you can get them downloadable.
Oh wow.
So I'm going to bring them to your website. So we're gonna teach Doc how to put a download link on her website.
Yes,
So you can download it.
And that forces me to update my website. Oh.
Yeah, because I know there's a few of you who missed. People are joining much later and they've missed out certain points. Yeah. So Ika, again, if you there's so many factors. So just go through the video, the presentation that Doc gave earlier. So yeah, just try all the steps, experiments.
Yes, if she's still watching, if she can type fast enough, maybe she can tell a little bit more background, then maybe we can actually try to go around it. But right now, just we don't have enough. I don't have enough information to in terms of context to give you a proper answer,
Mm-hmm.
right? So I can't give you a general answer and hope that it will work for you because it needs to be tailored to you.
Yeah, but what I worry is, and what I think that is happening, like, is that everyone doesn't really have control over their day.
Yeah.
Yeah. So Ika replied. So she's in her final year of study and have been going through some hard times. Hard time sleeping due to assignments and writing. Okay, so she has a lot of things on her mind. Her
Yeah.
task list, to-do list is long. So that's
Yes. So if that is a situation, you already know this is going to be short term because you know once you pass in your assignment, it's going to be hopefully over. Hopefully you pass your exam, and then you will graduate. I also hope that will happen for you. It will graduate, and then this is going to be a thing of the past, right? So right now, if you have a lot of things on your mind because of work or because you do not have much enough time of the day to do it, right? This is where doing a to-do list and brain dumping actually really works, right? Even if you are up for it, right? Bullet journaling, but right now maybe a bit late to learn. So brain dumping and putting down to-do lists. You may want to even to-do list your entire day down to the minute or hour, which means from this one Harum taught me and so you want to do it like the moment you wake up, what time to what time you have class, what time to what time is your time to eat and your time to rest, what time to what time you're going to do what assignment, and by end of this time it's going to stop. So you've already broken down your day and you're going to follow the broken down day it to the letter, which means there is no time for scrolling Instagram, there's no time for Facebook, there's no time for watching TV, there's no time for hanging around at the mall. Okay, can you hang around at the mall nowadays? I have not gone out yet in a very long time. So you stick to this schedule because there we tend to waste a lot of time doing unnecessary stuff. I also sometimes catch myself doing, hey, I'm not supposed to do this. Why am I doing this, right? And that eats up a lot of time because we do not realize time has passed. And the next thing you know, oh shit, it's 2 hours has gone.
Mm-hmm.
So you want to stick to your scheduled time, right? So if you give yourself time for Facebook, okay, I give myself 15 minutes for Facebook. The moment the alarm rings, I'm going to off the stupid app.
So I think,
right?
I think that part settles the mind being busy and with burdened with a lot of to-do lists. But I think after that also she may want to think about starting her ritual, right?
Yes.
Turning down, prepping for sleep, the rituals, the meditation.
Yep, definitely. Yes.
White
Which
noise.
Sue will talk about afterwards.
Yeah, meditation, white noise, setting a habit, sleep at 10 if possible. Right?
You sleep at 10 because we wake up early, but technically...
but we want the beauty hour, ma.
When you catch the beauty hour.
Yeah. So that's one.
Beauty hour.
Yeah, beauty hours are very important. Now I
Right.
know it's 11 to 2.
Beauty hour. What is that now?
Yeah,
Beauty
there's
hour.
another thing too that people actually spoke about this.
Go
It was
on.
a suggestion for me to try essential oils.
Okay, it's one of those very low hanging fruit, and what I mean by that is it's easy to do
Mhm.
and it's not hard to adopt, right? And worst case scenario, your room just smells really, really nice. Why
Yeah.
not? Right. So I don't okay, because some people olfactory wise, smelling wise, right? When they smell a certain smell, they associate it with sleep, like how white noise is associated with sleep, right? So let's say I turn on the essential oil or diffuser, or I don't know what we use, but I think the diffuser lah. Okay, so I turn it on, and the smell comes, and it hits my nose, and my brain automatically links it with, oh, sleep time, yay, and then you go to sleep. It may work that way, exactly like how white noise work, exactly the whole Pavlov dog experiment. Yeah.
Mm,
So again, no harm trying. It's not
yeah.
difficult. You just put the oil, turn it on. It will just continue until the water, whatever that do.
A
Okay, what?
lot of things
No
that
harm.
you can try and there's no harm to it.
There's no harm, yeah, right?
Mm.
Because like I said, the worst case is your roof smells really, really nice. Not too bad. I think I should buy one.
Okay, all right. I wonder if there's any other questions. Anything else you'd like to add, Doc? So, how can people find you? For those of
Oh, I actually forgot to put it in my Instagram.
yeah, I should put it too. So, Doc Pui San's website is Dr. Pui San, Dr. Pui San,
The person at
yeah,
yeah,
.com for the
UI.com.
website.
Right. Yeah,
Yeah.
I totally forgot you like it. Right. And usually usually I'm more contactable on Instagram, which is also Dr. Pui San, right? And I will reply. I usually will reply. Sometimes I miss the question because I can't remember what setting I put, and some questions go into
Oh yeah,
um,
yeah, yeah. The different tabs.
like requested thing, and then I forget about it, and then it just doesn't show up anymore. So I do miss one or two, and I reply them like a year later. I'm so sorry, I've done it before. Yeah, I've done it before,
Yeah,
but
Doc needs her
I
sleep
realized it 1 year
late.
later. So yes, but most of the time I do check and I make sure I clear through my questions. So I am rather contactable there. But this is me, I I will always tell you this, but whatever you ask me questions, I will tell you this. It's very hard for me to tell you something, especially if it comes to injury or bodily pains and aches, right? If I do not check and I do not see, I can give you a very general guideline on what to do or where what is your next step, but it may not be uh, specific to your issue, because again, your issue is very unique to you. Your lifestyle, your training, your load, your shoes, how you run. So everything is very, very specific to you. Therefore, that is where the interpersonal thing needs to be there. I need to see you in front of me, but I have no issues giving you a very
Mhm.
general suggestion, I would say, or advice. So that is it lah. So I think some people want me to give just an
Yeah,
answer, but a lot of
from
times I will give you even more headache, because I'll tell you maybe it's like this. This is the situation. Maybe it's like that. This is the situation. So you'll be like, whoa.
yeah. So now with the downloadable, at least I can go and see. Oh, that maybe this is why. with
I
without
will. I will.
without
I
having to
will
ask you
do
lah. Okay, so all right. Okay. So that's it. So we're going to wrap up the session. Thank you, Doc Puisan, once again for sharing. Yeah.
No problem. I'm very
No,
free.
no, Doc knows so many things. See, she's so knowledgeable. You can ask her about nutrition, about
I like to
meditation.
read. Technically, all the things have been taught to you once upon a time in medical school. But if you read, you actually know a
You
lot.
delve
And
deeper into the
I
topic.
think I also think that because a lot of things I practice and I do, therefore I understand where you're coming from, especially from an endurance point of view and from even training point of view. So that is helpful about it.
Okay. All right lah. So thank you guys for joining. Bye.
Bye.
Pui
Sorry for the
San.
darkness.
I'm gonna remove you. Pui. Okay. So yeah. So feel free to share this info with your friends. Like I said, the replay is going to be uploaded on the Spotify, on YouTube, as well as the Apple Podcast. Okay. So thank you guys one more time. If no other questions, we are going to sign off here.
Okay, bye.
Bye, Andrew.
Busy hour.
We're gonna sleep at 11 later.